Hey, what's happening? It's Bill Smith. As you can see, I'm back up on Twitter, so if people want to talk to me, you can talk to me on Twitter. I'm on Gab too, but I don't use it a lot. I think Gab's just not really like a popularized platform, and I think we need to have a more popularized message. So I stick to Twitter however I can. I've been banned twice off Twitter, but they gave me back my account. And when I was getting banned, I started seeing this screen. I don't know if this is just a mix-up and my account will come back online. But I can tell you that 5 minutes ago, I posted 3 words. I posted single state solution. I honestly believe after everything that I've written, from what I understand about global politics, stuff in the Middle East, I think the single state solution, which means that you combine Israel and Palestine into the same country, just makes the most amount of sense. Okay, the Jews aren't going to go anywhere. It would be really difficult to de-seat Israel at this point. You know, they've been around for 70 years. I think the only option is to give Palestinians citizenship to Israel. I think that is the way. That's the way forward. That's how we make progress here. We need a single state solution at this point. It's popped up a couple places. I talk about Zionism a lot. I'm not anti-Jewish or anti-Semitic. Okay, my best friend, I've said this before, my best friend is Jewish. He converted to Christianity. His family did when they moved to the country because they didn't want him learning about the Talmud from temple on Saturdays. They didn't think it was right. They like the message of Jesus Christ much more. It's a much more inclusive message. Zionism, especially the Talmud, is a very, very ugly thing for anything that's not establishment Jew. So if you're not Jewish, and I don't mean like Jewish like Jerome Corsi is Jewish. I mean Jewish like genetically tested Jewish. If you're not genetically tested Jewish, which means it's a race, if you're not part of the Jewish race, I think that's Khazarian at this point, Ashkenazi. It's not Hebrew, okay? Hebrew is Jewish. That's what Jesus was. Jesus was a Hebrew. Ashkenazi Jews are, some people say Khazarian, they're German Jews though. They're Europeans, that's why they pass as white. That's why they tell everybody that they're white. That's why they get to run the world with a double standard. They get to be part of the white race when it suits them, and the moment that they need to retreat back into minority status, they become Jews. So that's just it. Now, the Palestinians, from what I understand, are Hebrew. Some people can say no, some people can say yes. I don't know, I don't have the proof or anything, but they live in Palestine. Bethlehem is in Palestine. Now it's in quote-unquote Israel, but the whole area used to be Palestine until we yanked it away from the Palestinians. Now the Palestinians are under intense military occupation by Israel. They're not allowed to have a good economy. They're basically a slave race at this point. I think that that's probably the best way to put the Palestinian situation. I also believe that Hamas is controlled by the Mossad. That's the only thing that makes sense at this point. That's why they take, peaceful protesters and put them up front so the Jews in Israel can shoot them. That's what's happening. They do it all the time. You can go watch YouTube videos about how Israelis really feel about the Palestinians. There's this intense hatred. And I think a lot of people at this point are starting to figure out Zionism isn't good for anybody. It's bad. It's a racist ideology. And the Palestinians are locked into these cages. They don't have a lot of room to move. Their country has been stripped from them. They were placed into basically a compound under military occupation by Israel. So if you think that's okay, then by all means support Zionism. Okay, you're probably Jewish, or you have Jewish interests, Jewish leanings, like Jerome Corsi does. Evangelical Christians, like if you're supporting Zionism, you need to really like have a moral conversation with yourself, because that's not what Jesus would want. Jesus would not want that. He rebelled against this. He rebelled against Zionism early. I know Zionism is, that was coined in the 1800s, but the idea of that, of this intense cultural unity, racial unity across Jews at the expense of everybody else, is a double standard. It's hurting the world. It can't be sustained. People are dying every day because of this, and it needs to end. So this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that we need to start talking about a single state solution. It's something that nobody in the mainstream media has talked about for my entire lifetime. You'll always hear two-state solution, which means we need to find a way to get the Palestinians to accept being locked in their cages. The West Bank. Sorry, not the West Bank. I guess the Gaza Strip. They're locked in these like military occupied areas, and there's just, what are they supposed to do, man? Like, what are they supposed to do? Israel's got nukes. Israel's got high-class weaponry. We're sending them fighter jets now to drop bombs on Syria. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So I think that we need to start as a movement, okay, as a movement in the QAnon community. I don't know if this is what Trump's plan is. I don't know if this is what the QAnon plan was. I know that Israel seems to be last on that list. So if that's where we're headed, I don't see Israel going away as a country. I'll just be totally honest. That'd be ideal. But you're gonna get. I mean, there would be so much pushback from every angle. I think that would be difficult. So I think what needs to happen is we need to argue for a single state solution. I think it's the thing that would piss off Israeli Jews the most. I think it's the thing that they would want last. Because if Palestinians have access to Jewish citizenship, it totally neutralizes a ton of this conversation. So, again, we need to argue, or at least have a conversation, about what a single state solution would entail, how to accomplish it, whether or not it's good or bad or a net positive. I'm going to refresh my page one last time to see if, saying that on Twitter was a problem. All right, so it came back up. So it could have just been a technical difficulty. Here's what I'm saying. Okay, that was my tweet. That's what I tweeted right before I started getting that blue page. So again, could just be a little mistake. I've had little Twitter issues several times in the last couple weeks, but this is what I'm saying. Okay, and this is what I'm going to start talking about this. I don't know if this is the correct answer, but I think it's a discussion that we need to have. So, until next time, this is Bill Smith. Thanks for watching.